In this WrestleTalk news, FTR teases one last run. Cody Rhodes posts about CM Punk. Triple H's plan to take over the world. And more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos. And because it's Halloween today, if you do, I'm going to show you the scariest, most horrifying wrestling image of the year. Oh, God! Oh my God, that actually happened!
Support WrestleTalk!
After getting engaged last year, Sheamus wed Isabella Rivera on Friday. Counter-programming against AEW Rampage, typical WWE. And of course, for a day centered around a commitment to lifelong love. The main thing we want to know is, which AEW wrestlers were there? Oh my God, Sheamus, he's a WWE contracted wrestler, and AEW people will be there. CJ Perry, the former Lana in WWE, has shared photos with the other guests. AEW's Claudio Castagnoli standing alongside WWE's Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, and another of Miro with Damian Priest, Naomi, Sasha Banks to AEW confirmed, and Matt Riddle. Sheamus was written off SmackDown 2 weeks ago with a bloodline beatdown to give him time off for his wedding. You're exposing the business! Love? One topic of conversation amongst the wrestling guests and, let's be honest, all of wrestling YouTube for the last 7 weeks was probably CM Punk. Following the backstage shoot brawl between Punk and the Elite, which led to the suspension of all involved, AEW appears to have concluded their investigation, ultimately siding with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Punk's close friend Ace Steel was reportedly released by AEW from his backstage role, and the Elite got their first return promo tease on last Wednesday's Dynamite. Alongside all this, Punk and AEW are reportedly discussing a buyout of his contract. Many have looked for similarities and connections between the Punk and Elite controversy and AEW's other year-defining incident, the departure of Cody Rhodes, a top AEW star, co-executive vice president, and one of the founders of the promotion to return to WWE back in April. All sides have kept very tight-lipped about why Cody really wanted out for WWE. Preceding Cody's departure, there were rumors that he had fallen out with the Elite. There was also speculation that big-name stars like Punk and Bryan Danielson joining the company had pushed Rhodes down the pecking order. Claims that Cody himself has now directly responded to on Twitter. I didn't leave because of the Bucks and Kenny. I'm forever bonded to those men over what we created, and I remain very proud of it. And I didn't leave because of or have any issues with Punk. We got along. Not money, not booking. Just a personal issue and my wanting to go for the big one. While the personal issue is mysteriously vague, and positioning WWE as the big one is a bit of a neg at AEW, the Bucks replied to Cody's post with a photo of him, themselves, and Kenny before their first AEW show, suggesting they are on good terms. Which is more than you can probably say for them and Punk. Aside from one Instagram story post from Punk being excited for the release of Blade of the 47 Ronin, a Netflix movie which was written by his wife AJ Mendez, he's issued no public comment on anything. So instead, let's have a look at his mate's social media. The reportedly released Ace Steel, who was allegedly involved in the backstage brawl, has posted his own Instagram story with the caption, "The moment you put a stop to people taking advantage of you and disrespecting you is when they define you as difficult, selfish, or crazy. Manipulators hate boundaries." This comes following last week's report that Chris Jericho had confronted Punk backstage following the brawl and called him a locker room cancer. Unsurprisingly, it seems that Punk's camp is unhappy with the investigation finding in favour of the Elite. How they will respond beyond indirect social media posts is unknown, but it could range from further legal issues or potentially jumping ship to WWE. The most recent update on the latter is that as of last week, there have been no talks between WWE and Punk, which you would think makes sense as Punk's AEW contract might legally prevent that from happening, and as we all know, WWE are super respectful of AEW contracts. But who needs CM Punk, the company's biggest ever pay-per-view TV live event and merchandise selling draw? AEW has Mike Tyson now. What is it with this company and people who bite people? Last Friday's episode of Rampage announced that boxing legend Mike Tyson will appear on this week's show as a guest commentator. That'll turn Rampage around. This comes after several appearances for the promotion since May 2020. But according to PW Insider, this latest appearance won't be a one-off, as he's agreed to multiple appearances. Tyson and Jericho have long wanted to work a program together, so this could be that storyline finally happening. But also, what about all those Ring of Honor guys? Fightful is reporting that Josh Woods, Bandido, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Maria Kanellis were also offered or signed to full-time deals by AEW. Several of the ROH stars who recently appeared on AEW programming are still completely free agents, including Cheeseburger, who wrestled on the AEW Zero Hour pre-show, and former Ring of Honor World Champion Dalton Castle, who fought Jericho on Dynamite 2 weeks ago in an excellent match. Castle is one of my favourite performers from the last 5 years, so I find it baffling AEW haven't signed him to a deal yet, particularly after his Dynamite showing and the fact he holds one of the ROH Trios Championship belts. If I was Triple H right now, I'd be doing everything I could to lure Castle away. But then again, perhaps Triple H is too busy trying to take over the entire world. 2 weeks ago, I pitched to you all my wrestling conspiracy theory. Carl Anderson was going to keep wrestling for New Japan up until January as their never openweight champion, despite now having returned to WWE. Rey Mysterio sent a video message to Triple H, and something about Sasha Banks wrestling Kairi Sane for the New Japan's women's belt. Maybe I got carried away on that one. I said that Triple H's whole gimmick is being the cerebral assassin. He's not going to pull crazy, in-your-face stunts like Vince. He's going to slowly chip away at your credibility and turn all those closest to you against you. And he's got an NXT defeat-sized chip on his shoulder and his sights on AEW. My theory was that Triple H is going to subtly open up WWE's borders to work with more wrestling promotions around the world. This is in direct contrast to Vince's isolationist approach, doing so with neuter one of AEW's main unique selling points, that it is the promotion that plays well with others and is rewarded with talent-sharing opportunities. Following NWA President Billy Corgan confirming last week that he had held talks with WWE about the two promotions working together, and while it didn't go anywhere, he remains optimistic, WWE themselves have now announced a hugely uncharacteristic wrestler loan to Pro Wrestling Noah. As part of Japanese wrestling legend The Great Muta's retirement tour, WWE star Shinsuke Nakamura will wrestle him on Pro Wrestling Noah's big New Year's Day show. Nakamura himself tweeted the news and then posted, "This is miracle." It's a stunning change of direction for WWE and potentially lays the groundwork for any number of talent loans to other promotions. Rey Mysterio wrestling a match for Triple A, for instance. Gunther competing in the G1, yes please. It's Triple H's wrestling boot in the Forbidden Door, possibly as a way to pry out Tony Khan. Pro Wrestling Noah has a working relationship with New Japan, meaning WWE wouldn't annoy New Japan either here, particularly as the Carl Anderson situation appears to have been resolved. He will defend his never openweight title in the promotion, but not at his double booking with Crown Jewel this Saturday. Instead, New Japan have announced Bullet Club's Takahashi will replace him. Anderson is expected to defend his title in New Japan over the next 2 months. It'll make January 4th's Wrestle Kingdom show a uniquely interesting event, potentially having AEW and WWE wrestlers on the same card, some representing the same global promotion-spanning faction, the Bullet Club. AEW's FTR will be making their Japan debut for New Japan this Saturday in Osaka, and their IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship contenders have now been announced as the United Empire's Great Khan and Jeff Cobb. FTR won those belts from the United Empire back at June's Forbidden Door show, when FTR pinned Trent and Rocky Romero in a three-way. But amidst this, with FTR on the most successful title run of their careers, holding the top tag championships of 3 different promotions, their AEW ascent has stalled, never getting the Dream for all the belts third match with the Bucks and being kept out of the AEW tag title picture because of the organic rise of the Acclaimed. They most recently lost a #1 contenders match on Wednesday's Dynamite. Following this, Dax Harwood has posted an oddly foreboding message on Instagram. All we've ever wanted to do in life was be a professional wrestler. Height, body type, accent, life situations, we had all of it against us. Now we leave a body of work I think we can be proud of. When we started this journey in 2014, we tried to make sure we were always different from everyone else wrestling currently. We also wanted to work so hard that eventually we'd go down as one of the greatest tag teams to ever do it. I'm not sure we have reached that, but we'll damn sure keep trying. Thank you all for going on this journey with us. Not sure where the next few years will take us, but I can't wait for one last run. Top guys out. Goat emoji, poo emoji. The post potentially teases FTR splitting up, with Dax and Cash having accomplished everything you can as a tag team in wrestling. Both have dabbled in singles competition this year to great effect. Or it could signal the end of their AEW run. Back in April, it was reported that WWE had interest in bringing FTR back. You'd think that's only intensified since Triple H, their NXT daddy and lover of tag team wrestling, now heads up the company's creative. FTR's AEW deals were reportedly extended for a year option, meaning they will become free agents in the summer. Do you think FTR would return to WWE? Let me know in the comments. Bray Wyatt's latest gimmick is the hottest thing in wrestling right now, but what about his first main roster character? Watch how Adam Blompier would have booked cult leader Bray Wyatt now.
Oh, I am gonna hate doing this. Literally, this is me saying that I know better than one of the most creative individual minds in wrestling. I'm just gonna say, I'm saying this, and this is all I'm saying. I'm being explicit here, so you don't accuse me. Look, I'm just saying, I think I have a better idea of how to handle the character than WWE Creative did. Whoever's idea it was to throw a Nan's curtain over Bray's head, I am better than them, and only them.